Welcome to the Alcohol Free Life podcast, brought to you by thesoberclub.com. I'm Janie Lee Grace. This is for you if you've quit the booze or you'd like to, or maybe you're just sober curious. I'll bring you tips and motivation without any judgment, and there'll be inspiration from experts, quit-lit authors, and sober heroes. Hi, and welcome to the podcast. I hope you're doing well. If you're doing dry January, well done. Keep going. If you've had a blip, don't worry. Get back on the horse. Just keep going. Just honestly, best thing you'll ever do. Keep on going. I had another one-to-one client that I've been working with recently who said, yet again, you know, it's like a reset, a whole new chance at everything. And it really is. It's just the best thing you'll ever do. This week, we're going to bring you a clip from the piece that I did, the kind of 2nd of Jan setting intentions session that we did. It was really good. Thank you so much to those of you who joined. It was really great to have podcast listeners on our call, on our session. And we really did a deep dive into what it means to set intentions and focus on what you want to let go of and what you really want to make happen for the year ahead. And obviously I recommended that if you haven't yet cracked sobriety, then make that your number one intention for sure. But we also chatted as part of that session to Susan from Hola Sober Magazine, and Susan and I always have great fun when we get together. So it was a fun chat, but we specifically wanted to chat about creating rituals and what that means, you know, within sort of self-care. And we kind of broke it down really and made it really simplified what self-care actually means, because, you know, as Susan so eloquently says, it ain't all bubble baths and you know, the right spa days. So we unpick it all, and I really hope you'll enjoy this interview. I'm going to run you this piece that we did with Susan. It's not too late to get a replay of the session, the setting intention session, if you want it. Just I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to get that. And just a quick reminder before we get into anything else that the quite a few people have asked me about the next Sober Coach training webinar. Is Sober Coaching your calling? Or that's a PDF, but also Explore a Career as a Sober Coach. A few different names, but it all comes down to the same thing. It's a way of joining us for a kind of clarity session, really. It's definitely no pressure at all. It's a kind of clarity session for you if you have quit the booze. Even if you're in the early stages, you may well be thinking, I'm curious for the future as to what my purpose might be, what there might be there for me, waiting in the wings in the future. And it's a really lovely session that we do together online, where we just have a look at what your purpose might be. So the next one is Wednesday, the 21st of January. It's at 7:30 in the evening. It'd be great to have you with us. I'll put the link in the show notes if you want to register, or you can go to thesoberclub.com, click on events, and you'll find the link to register there. So getting quick before the slots fill up, as it were. Obviously, if you're listening to this and you're only on day 4 or something, what the hell is she on about? But I'm really well aware that, you know, everything we talk about here in this podcast around, you know, quitting the booze, living your best life, the quitting alcohol piece is the first piece. It's the foundational piece. It needs to sit beneath everything. But I'm hoping, I know that lots of people who listen to this podcast have been sober for months, years, because it's always about the what next. There's always something else we can level up. There's always another bit of mindset we can work on, and better nutrition and better purpose, and, you know, a new sense of purpose. And there's always something new. I love, you know, just doing all of these different aspects of well-being, really. I was going to say self-improvement, but that's really naff phrase, isn't it? But you know what I mean. I hope you do anyway. So whatever stage you're at, you're very welcome on this podcast. And I really hope that most weeks when we bring you guests, there's kind of something for everyone. I do think that even if you've been sober for ages, there's something really special about hearing stuff explained in a different way. And you always pick up a little nugget or something that you can kind of take away. So if you have enjoyed the podcast over the last year, last week I did a bit of a rundown, and I'd really appreciate it if you just drop me a message and let me know which have been your favorites. If there's any that you'd like me to rerun, because again, it's great to kind of hear them when you're perhaps at a different stage, then just let me know. And then this week we've got, I suppose you would call them a sponsor for this week's podcast. We've got a brand that I'm working with for the podcast, and that's not something I do very often. I don't sort of do that advertising thing on the podcast where an advert sort of bursts in halfway through a word. I just find that a little bit disconcerting, so I don't do that. However, I'm always really open to work with companies whose stuff I love and, that I really want to sort of bring to you, as it were. So I've known this brand for years. I've been talking about their stuff on my Imperfectly Natural site. I'm a very big believer in natural products and services. And obviously, one of the things, as a woman of a certain age, that I've looked into over the years is collagen, and how we can use collagen to, support our skin and other healthy, stuff. But the problem is with so many of the brands out there, they're just full of nonsense, So I thought, rather than just do an ad for this product, let's actually talk to the person who created it. So we've got a little piece with Kathryn Dancey, who's the founder of Rejuvenated, and you get to sort of hear it from her direct a little bit about this, really great brand. And if you go to the show notes, you'll find the link there to click through to buy their products if you're interested. And if you go to thesoberclub.com and click on the blog post, you'll find the info there as well. So I really hope you enjoy this little chat with Kathryn about Rejuvenated, and then make sure you've got a pen and paper handy, because I'm going to be chatting to Susan from Hola Sober all about self-care, about putting rituals in place. It just comes back to this whole thing, really, doesn't it, of just how we can love ourselves a bit more. I was going to try and dampen that phrase down, but we all know what it means, don't we? We can call it whatever you like, really. Self-esteem, yeah, it does come down to self-love. And trust me, when we're drinking, we're not very good at that. I mean, it doesn't come to you instantly when you stop drinking, but certainly when you're drinking, it's very tough. So that's always the thing that underlines everything. Meanwhile, as you've heard me say so many times, sobriety is the best anti-aging hack ever. And the next best thing is check out this collagen. Would you like to become an accredited sober coach? Have you quit drinking and found yourself looking for a new purpose? Thousands of people are searching for help to quit and live their best life without the booze. Our Sober Coach training gives you the tools, the confidence, and the community to support others. No experience needed, except knowing what it feels like to have drunk more than you wanted to. We start with 2 transformational in-person days. Then you join our coaches family with ongoing support and webinars to help you use your skills in ways that suit you. If you're already a coach or a therapist, this could be an in-demand extra string to your bow, or a whole new career opportunity as a Sober Club accredited coach. For more info, visit thesoberclub.com and click on the Become a Sober Coach menu item. I'm delighted to be joined by Kathryn Dancey. I've known Kathryn quite a few years now, isn't it, Kathryn, actually?
It is a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
I've been really fortunate to have won some of the awards.
I know, absolutely. I can't remember the first awards program you entered, but basically I think it's partly because of you that I'm still doing this stuff, because what you do is help us with aging a little more, how shall we say, comfortably. Let's put it that way. So we're going to be talking about Rejuvenated, which is just the most fantastic brand, because it's as I sometimes say, it's a clean brand. And we're going to be talking about the various collagen products that you have and the importance of that. And one of the reasons I really wanted to chat to you particularly, Kathryn, is because there's ever such a lot at the moment, a lot of people talking about collagen, right? How much we need collagen, particularly as gals as we're getting older.
Yeah. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the body, and a lot of people think about it just in our skin. Throughout our whole body, it's in our bones, our muscles, our ligaments, our hair and nails, our joints, our digestive system, literally everything. So it's the most protein within our body, but with everything. Once we get to 25 or so, it starts to
depletes. Yeah. Yeah.
And once sort of you lose, I think it's about 40% by the time you're 50.
Wow.
Levels drop off by 1.5% a year. So and it needs to be hydrolyzed because there's lots of different types of collagen out there, but it needs to be hydrolyzed, and that means it's broken down into very small particles so that it can actually be absorbed by the body effectively. And so by taking a collagen supplement, okay, it's like I say, I'm 68, I'm never going to look 30 again, but by taking
You look pretty amazing.
Oh, bless you.
You're a very good advert for your own product, Kathryn.
Thank you. So the thing is, it can help to make your skin more elastic, more radiant glowing. And it's you on a good day, and most days are good days. I think that's the important thing.
But just one interesting question, just stepping back for a moment. If we don't supplement, then where else could we get collagen? Are there any food sources that give us a bit, even if not enough?
Yeah, the actual collagen molecule, because you can get it from fish skin and sort of chicken feet, which we wouldn't.
Oh, charmed.
Not in the Western diet, would we? But the molecule's too big to be absorbed, and that's why it needs to be hydrolyzed. Where you can get collagen boosting from is if you boil bones.
Okay. So that's how our grannies got it then, with bone broth.
And you can actually buy bone broth.
Yeah, you can. You can get some decent stuff now. It's quite expensive, but you can get it. So what's the difference then between having bone broth and having the collagen shots that you do? Is there any difference? Do you need both? Is it a case of what you find? Is it a case of you can have yours on the go easily? What are the differences?
Well, ours is very light berry. It's a really pleasant taste.
Yeah, you can have it literally in water and it tastes great, or you can chuck it in a smoothie or something.
It's very easy to use. Maybe you don't feel I've got to make, if you're cooking and you use the bone broth and you're cooking, that's okay. But I personally wouldn't want to drink.
No, I'm not a fan of drinking it. I talk about it all the time, but I don't actually do it.
I find to put collagen in a smoothie or just water on the go sort of thing is a really way to take.
Yeah. And so with yours, just describe the products that you've got, because you've got a few different things now.
We have, as I say, I started off doing collagen shots and the hydration. The hydration was really important. The two, for me, really fitted together because collagen does all the tissues outside the cells, all the cell matrix, whereas hydration hydrates at a cellular level, which is so important. And I think particularly for the listeners that are looking for an optional drink, it's perfect for them because, again, it's a berry flavor, very light berry flavor, but it actually hydrates the cells.
So we're talking about putting in powder into water effectively.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Yeah, but you've also got capsules, haven't you?
We do have capsules for different things. The hydration is the drinks, and then we do a protein drink, which interestingly, I was listening to your last podcast. You said you don't get enough protein.
I don't. That's right. I really don't.
I'm going to send you some of this because it's protein. It's really lovely. So we do that. Then the 3 drinks that we do. At first, I thought I was only going to do drinks. It sounds silly, but it never dawned on me to do a capsule. And when we developed the hydration drink, we got some really amazing ingredients, but they just tasted disgusting.
Right.
They were in the lab, in the fridge. What am I going to do with these ingredients? I want people to be able to take them. I was driving to London one day, light bulb moment. I thought, I'll put it in a capsule.
Yeah.
So we did. The first one we did was, because the hydration drink's called H3O hydration, because it's hypertonic hydration with hyaluronic acid. It was 3 H's. It was a twist on H2O. So then we did H3O night repair that you take at night. We put the electrolytes with really potent antioxidants. It hydrates and repairs while you sleep. Then we're only a small brand, but the products that we do, we create for specific reasons.
Yeah.
We don't do so much like a calcium tablet or a vitamin D tablet. We create them for specific things. So we have cellular calm complex, which is formulated to help with continued low-grade stress.
Anxiety.
It helps us to calm down. And the thing with it is, because when we're stressed, it puts so much pressure on the cells. Cells require extra energy, the mitochondria, to get more fuel and more antioxidants. So the supplement actually provides that extra energy as well, and the antioxidants. So it works as a combined thing. We do Reset, which we formulated, crikey, it must be 15 years ago now. And when I did it, I do buy really healthily. I'm a bit sad when I'm in the supermarket. I love to be in the veg aisle and all the rest of it. But you do see people, they've got lots of sweets and biscuits in the trolley. And all this time ago, do you know what? Long term, we're going to have a real problem with diabetes.
Yeah.
Country. So the tablet capsule that we did Reset was designed to keep balanced blood sugar levels, support healthy metabolism. It answers the GLP-1 that everybody's talking about, the slimming injection.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
So are you saying it helps a little bit with reducing appetite or sugar cravings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I mean, that's perfect for a lot of people listen to this, because as you well know, when people quit alcohol, they get a major sugar head on.
Definitely. It's really helpful.
Right.
And it's not going to work the same as the drugs are, but it supports and is much more beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. They're fantastic products. I think, as I said at the beginning, I think that one of the most important things about these supplements is that they don't contain a lot of the crap. And I say that flippantly, but really, genuinely, there are obviously tons of supplements on the market of all kinds, loads of capsules on the market, loads of collagen brands now as well. And lots of them have got fillers in, haven't they? They've got preservatives. Loads of them have got artificial sweeteners. Yeah. God, I cannot believe that, because people often show me, my own boys will often show me, oh, you should take this protein powder, Mum. You don't get enough protein. You should take this, or you should have this. And I look at the ingredients, I can't believe it. They've got all manner of artificial sweeteners and crap in there. How can that possibly be any good to me? You must have had to work really hard to make sure that you kept that quality without all those fillers and crap. Yeah.
There's no reason to have all the fillers and binders. It's just packing out capsules. And if there's space in a capsule, I'll look at it from the point of view, what else can I put in?
What other active ingredients can I put in? Yeah.
That's the way that we approach it.
Yeah.
But I just think it's a general approach to life. And we do try and, which is we're a supplement brand, we talk about total well-being and health. And we talk about health span rather than lifespan. Because too many of us these days, the medical profession is amazing at keeping us alive for longer, but it's having those longer years healthy, so that we're still vibrant, we can still do things. And I think that's a very important way that we approach things. But
certainly in terms of aging, you are going to give yourself the best chance. And then with these kind of supplements, obviously we know that hyaluronic acid, which you mentioned is in your products, is really great, isn't it, for supporting longevity, all of these things, because it's about, I suppose, really what I'm trying to say is, it isn't just about how your skin looks, it's the impact on the cellular health. That's where the difference comes in.
It's the cellular health that's so important. And that's what all of our products do. And when we develop a product, how is this going to affect body at cellular level? It's so important. And if the cells are properly hydrated, the body just doesn't deteriorate in the same way. And the cells are less prone to disease and infection.
Yeah, amazing. I must mention, what about the menopause? We've got a lot of my clients certainly are going through the menopause. Now, again, that's something that when they quit alcohol, in some cases, they find symptoms are greatly reduced. It has a massive impact taking the alcohol away. But I'm guessing that again, collagen has an impact on hormonal health too.
Oh, crikey, it's so good, because obviously we lose muscle tone, our bones, everything. So from that point of view, it's an incredible support. But the thing is, we're the first real generation that's gone through so many life changes. It's like with all the toxins, the highly processed foods, the chemicals and so on that we're now exposed to. When you think, when our mothers were that age, they were probably eating meat and 2 veggies.
Exactly.
Now.
And they were working physically very hard as well. They may not have been in the gym, but they were working physically hard, lifting weights because they were carrying big bags of potatoes and doing the gardening.
Our circadian rhythms just go out the window.
Yeah.
getting hot and flushed at night. So the more that we can, oh, something that I did want to say, apparently our liver shrinks by 40% when we go through the menopause.
Oh,
That's
that's interesting.
cruel, isn't it?
That is interesting. Right.
If we're still drinking, can you
Yeah.
imagine the impact?
Yeah. How is it going to process it? Yeah.
Exactly. So the more that we can lower the load, the better.
Mm.
But the other thing is when we drink, because we've all done it before, you wake up at 2 or 3.
Absolutely.
Equally, that's when the
That's
liver.
when it repairs. I know, sweetheart. I woke at that time every day for about 15 years till I finally listened to the voice. Yeah.
As you go through the menopause, if you can quit and just try and get your circadian rhythms back in
Yeah.
rhythm.
And how much of your, let's say we're having the collagen shots then, would it just be, would one shot a day, would that do it?
Do you know, it's designed to have one a day, but if you want to give your system a real boost, go for 2. Give yourself a boost and get you there.
Or could you have a collagen shot and one of the capsules as well, one of the reset capsules or similar?
Do you know, the products are designed to go together. I'd go collagen and hydration if I was putting something together. They're doing the total thing. To put with reset, I'd probably put protein smoothie with reset, but you can combine, collagen will go with anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's very few people that can't take it, just about everybody that can take it.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask that actually, whether you find that and there are intolerances typically.
Yeah. Just so rarely, because we sold so much over the years, so rarely somebody will get in touch and say, do you know what, it doesn't suit me? But it is just so rare, and it's probably because we have the acai barrier. So it's probably what's triggering them.
Ah, okay, interesting. It's fascinating, Kathryn. Thank you so much for sharing it. I'll put all the links in the notes, and it's a lovely brand. The products they look beautiful on your shelf. Rejuvenated products. You've obviously worked hard on the packaging as well. Congratulations. It's a really great brand. And yeah, I think what you're doing is fantastic. And it obviously works because you look amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kathryn.
Thank you.
So if you click on the show notes for this episode, you'll find the link there to get the Rejuvenated products. Absolutely loving the capsules at the moment that Kathryn mentioned, just super easy to take. And also if you go to thesoberclub.com, click on the blog post, you'll find information there as well. Time now for Susan. Thank you so much for joining us, Susan. I really appreciate it. Right. So yeah, what I wanted to chat to you about, I know we can chat forever, Susan, about everything, but
Indeed.
I just wanted to think about we've had a few chats on podcasts in the past about self-care, haven't we? And we've nearly always ended up talking as well about ritual and the importance of ritual. And I suppose the key difference for I suppose the key difference between a ritual and just a habit, or a routine is the intention behind it.
Correct.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. And I think that a very big myth prevails in general terms around what actually self-care is, because it's not bubble baths and beige candles. And if that's the concept you have in your head, it's actually wrong. Self-care, to those of us in the recovery journey, is maintenance of the woman who keeps the whole show on the road. Okay, so that's what it actually is. And many women today, being the 2nd of January, have given 150% to their family and their friends for the last 6 weeks in terms of maintaining everybody's well-being, because somehow we as women believe there was a memo that says we are responsible for everybody's happiness at fucking Christmas. Please excuse my French. So therefore, in terms of self-care, now is the time, and it's a fabulous day to have this chat, for us to really look and dig deep into not just self-care and ritual, but also why it is so very important. And I think that one of the things each of us need to remember is self-care is actually quite simple. Okay, it's the maintenance, right? It is simple as boundaries, bedtime, food, and water. Okay, it can be as simple as that, without the glitter, without the drama, without the bullshit, without overcomplicating it, Janie. It can actually be as simple as that. Let me tell you, 2 days ago in my kitchen, I, for no reason, broke down in tears. I'm 7 years sober, by the way, next Tuesday.
Yay,
So,
congrats.
7 years down the road, I thought I was through all of this, right? This sort of roller coaster of emotion that somebody feels. And I broke down in the kitchen, and my husband said, what's wrong with you? And I said, I don't know. I think I'm angry. And he said, why are you angry? And I said, I don't know. I don't know why I'm angry. And then, because I'm a sober woman with a deeply curious brain, I looked at really what was going on. And the truth was, I was shattered. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I hadn't slept properly for 3 solid nights. I had kind of half slept and gone to bed too late, and I'd broken all my own rules because the house was full for Christmas. So I'd broken the boundary that is precious, that is my sleep. And that night I went to bed. And the next morning, my husband, who you're all going to now be really angry, brings me my breakfast in bed every morning.
Oh,
my medication.
Send him over.
And he didn't come in until almost midday. I slept until almost midday.
Yeah.
And in that moment of clarity, when I woke, I thought, that's what was wrong with me yesterday.
Yeah.
I was shattered. So therefore, for me, I'm constantly reminded in the own living of my life what self-care is, that it is boundaries, keeping out people who drive me insane, keeping out toxic people, reducing my world into something that I can manage if I'm not feeling 100%. Boundaries is saying no. And here's another one. A woman emailed me the other day, and she said, do you think this is okay it was a friend of mine. And she said, do you think this is okay to send to my brother? Because I'm saying, no, I'm not going there. Lads, it was like Tolstoy's War and Peace. It was about 5,000 words. Okay. And what she really could have just said to him is, no, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling quite vulnerable in my sobriety right now.
Yeah.
But instead, it was la 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 la.
Yeah.
She just over explained.
Yeah.
So
totally.
for me, without a shadow of a doubt, self-care, I learned, because I thought it was bath bombs, and lavender in my pillow, is actually, for me personally, it's boundaries, it's bedtime, it's water, it's good food, it's laughter, it's joy. It's a meeting if I need to go to one, if that's your jam. It's reaching out to a sober friend. It is actually, I suppose the best way I can put it, Janie, is it's the maintenance of the greatest decision I've ever made.
Exactly. I just want to pick up on one thing you said there, Susan. It's so important. Before I forget, I just want to say, I absolutely love the fact that you started that conversation by admitting or sharing that what you were feeling was anger, right?
Yes.
And isn't it interesting that we all have different emotions that yes, you're still going to have times when you feel guilty, angry, fed up, pissed off, whatever.
Yes.
Furious, miserable, ashamed. You're going to have these emotions.
Absolutely.
But how brilliant to actually recognize, okay, I'm going to look at that emotion.
That's something that I
look at it. In the past, we didn't do that, did we? In the past, when we felt angry, we just reached for a bloody drink. End of.
That's it.
Right.
So I was a classic. Let's drink it anger. Let's drink it rejection.
Yeah.
Let's drink at my marriage rather than have a difficult conversation.
Yes, exactly.
Let's drink at parenting.
Yeah.
Let's drink at daughtering.
Yeah.
Let's drink at traffic on the M40.
Yeah.
So therefore, I loaded it all in, Janie. But the fundamental shift in sobriety is that I did have the wherewithal to go, what the fuck is actually going on here?
Yeah. Right? Well, in the chat, Paula just said it's feeling all the feels. That's exactly it, isn't it? Yes. Once we quit alcohol, we do have to face all the emotions. But that's not as terrifying as it seems, because we can also recognize that they are just emotions. They will pass, right? Yes. And if you believe Carla McLaren, I interviewed her many years ago, actually. But her theory is all emotions are welcome. Of course, it doesn't feel that way. I don't particularly want to feel shit, but all emotions are welcome because they're all there to teach us something. That emotion came to you because you needed to have a bloody rest.
Yes.
You needed to have that emotion so that you could say no and have and we always say, don't we, Susan? No is a complete sentence. I love that.
Correct. No is a complete sentence. And my body had been screaming at me
Yeah.
for days, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I was angry, because my body was angry. My literal insides were screaming,
Yeah.
stop. And I wasn't listening. And I was forced to listen by cracking and breaking down, which is a new thing in
Yeah.
sobriety. And the first time it happened to me, I thought, oh my God. And then I realized maybe 6 years ago, 1 year on the journey, I realized that there has been this falsehood structured by society, by the media, that women are super women and we are able and capable of doing everything, of
Yeah.
having the career and the marriage and the children and the glass of wine and absolutely everything. And we feel in early sobriety that we're failing when we get this whoosh of emotion,
Yeah.
where in fact, when I got into bed that night, I actually reframed it to be, thank you, sobriety, that it is healthy to
Yeah.
feel angry. And I'm not
Exactly.
a bitch to feel angry.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely. I love
actually
that. Yeah.
felt it.
Yeah.
It was coming up the back of my throat. And there's nothing wrong with being incensed or angry or pissed off or having a cross word. It's actually life. And because you and I, as sober women, live life to the full, we're not in the margins. We're actually driving down the center of the road in our lives. If there's anyone in this room that thinks that they'll never feel angry, sad, depressed, postmenopausal, perimenopausal, want to kill your partner, want to kill your child, you're in the wrong room, because all of that is living, it's
Yeah.
sober, and it is an absolute testament to your strength to follow through on the greatest choice you'll ever make.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love it. And you're absolutely right. The boundary piece is critical. As we say, no is a complete sentence. We have to learn to set boundaries. I've said many times in the past that when I was drinking, I thought that people who set boundaries were just really mean. Like, oh, she's so mean. She said no. But I now realize that's taking care of yourself. And, if somebody doesn't like it, that's their problem. It
It
doesn't
is.
matter.
And,
And
and,
when
and it's something now that you've just touched on there, right? So we're all human in this room, okay? I hope we are, because if you're an AI bot, back off.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we're all human, and I think what's really important is there is a natural part of us that wants to be liked. There's a natural part of humanity.
Yes, and there's a lot of people pleasers
There is
who are
in this
drinkers.
community, in
Yes,
this community.
yes,
And I think that, so it's natural that we want to be liked. But at the end of the day, I had a chat with myself the first week that I went on this journey. And I said to myself, so I'm 7 years, I'm 58, so I was 51. I said, look, you're 51 years of age. You're 51 years of age. You own this life. You can say no. You can set boundaries. And if they think you're a silly cow, they think you're a silly cow.
yeah,
And as long as your partner in life and your children and those that truly matter to you and your heart continue to love you, that's all that matters. But the crowd out there that we've worked so damn hard to try and please and get applause truly do not matter. And in sobriety, that became really, really clear to
yeah,
me
yeah.
that I could say no and not be a bitch.
Yeah, I love that, because the other piece of that is that it's only in many cases I really believe that it's very difficult to actually love yourself. I mean, those words might be a bit woo-woo for some people, but
Yes.
have self-respect if you prefer, or have
Yes.
self-esteem when you're drinking. I
Yes.
think it's really, really difficult. As most people know, I was I was a Hay House author, so I was absolutely steeped in everything to do with self-love, with
Yes.
literally working with Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer, and everything was about self-love. And yet, if you'd have
Yes.
asked me about my own personal sense of self-love or spiritual practice, I would have just said, oh no, it's not for me, it's for everyone else.
Yeah.
Bizarre. I now realize it's because I couldn't be authentic. I couldn't like myself because I was pouring toxic liquid in. And somewhere in my unconscious mind, some part of me knew that was not okay. And it's only when I was able to stop, that I was able to start to like myself. And when you can like yourself, you don't care so much what everybody else thinks. Right?
Correct, because ultimately, you and I, being Anglo-Irish, somebody who loves themselves is normally up their own ass.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
not raised.
The phrase is difficult, isn't it?
Yes, it is. As my mother and father say, the Americans invented that.
Yes. Well,
Apologies to any
yeah.
Americans. But here's the deal. Loving ourselves is a concept rather than a sentence, right?
Yes. Yes.
And when we're drinking, we truly have no self-respect. We are our own worst
Exactly.
enemy. And it's an act of self-harm. And you and I have said many times, it is
Yeah.
singularly the greatest act of self-harm any woman in this room will ever commit
And
against
man, I think we've got a couple of guys.
right, and guys, and
Yeah.
to anybody in the room. So here's the deal: if you're appalled at the prospect of somebody in an act of self harm, when you pour a glass of wine, that's actually
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
that act of self harm is self sabotage, and it is a concept of hatred that
Yeah.
you are fighting against yourself. So loving yourself being a concept is actually truly about finding, as you rightly say, it's about finding respect.
Yeah.
I didn't respect myself when I was drinking. I
No.
didn't respect my decisions. I didn't respect my choices. I didn't respect any part of me. And no matter what I achieved in the outside world professionally, no matter what accolade came along, it meant zero, zilch, nothing, because deep in my soul, I felt if they really knew I was going home to drink a bottle of wine on my own
Yeah.
in my kitchen, disconnected from the world, they would not be applauding. They
Yeah.
would be giving me this award. They would be appalled at who I am as a human. So therefore, I hid away in my kitchen with my bottle of wine. And therefore, you and I suffered very much from that duality of spirit.
Yeah, exactly that.
Because
Exactly
there
that.
was two of us. Well,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure my husband would say there's
Yeah.
365 of me, but there's allegedly two of us.
It's
But the
true.
point is, one is for the outside world in my life. One was for the outside world and professionally, and one was for back in the hotel room or my kitchen.
Yeah.
And they were yards apart in
Yeah.
terms of their choices, how they presented to the world, and in terms of respect, it was zero.
Yeah.
Zero. Because any woman, and what I'm going to say sounds harsh, but look here, we're big women in here, and we're probably all wearing, and men, we're probably, I was going to say we're big women wearing big knickers, but to the men, deepest apologies. If you've knickers on, we're not judging. We're not judging. But here's what I was going to say is that, you know, we've zero self-respect. And if any woman taped herself or videoed herself or voice called herself while in the grip of a bottle,
Oh, yeah.
they
Yeah.
would be appalled
Yeah.
at what we become. So
Totally.
I left a video message for my best friend many years ago, maybe about, it has to be 8 years ago, because it was quite quickly after that I got a grip. And she was in hospital, and I left her a message late at night, and I forgot to send it. And thank you, universe, for that. And I looked at it,
Wow.
and I was horrified at what I saw.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what I saw was a rambling, slurring woman looking quite tossed, which is unlike me, quite tossed in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And my sentiment was good, but it was impossible to truly understand what I was actually getting at.
Yeah.
And I immediately deleted that video. And I think somewhere in my head that day, I felt I needed to put my big girl pants on and get a grip.
Yeah.
And in terms of self-respect, every woman and man in this room that is on a day one or a day a million, it's irrelevant. You are beginning on a journey of self-discovery and self-respect. And when we find self-respect, we're able to say no. When we find self-respect, we're able to say, I really don't give a toss what you think about this, but here's what I think.
Yeah.
And you're actually able to inhabit that space and that body that you and everybody else in this room has been given to its fullness, to its fullness. And that doesn't mean everybody has to be out front and roaring and shouting and cheerleading and wearing a rah-rah skirt. But if that's what flies your boat, off you go. But here's what it means. It means that I don't allow people to treat me badly. I don't allow people to come back at me when I say no. I don't tolerate it, Janie. I don't tolerate it. If that's the journey you're going on and you're upset because I said no, because I'm not going to your dinner party, well,
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love that. We were just talking a little bit earlier about someone was saying that they have this sort of the fear of getting things wrong and the limiting beliefs. And we do have all of that early on. And yes, we might get things wrong. But as you said, what's really amazing about choosing this path is you're stepping into that new identity, but it's who you really are. That's the really lovely thing about it. And it takes a little bit of time before you kind of fit in your sober shoes, doesn't it? And it can feel really raw in the early days, for sure.
It is raw and it's uncomfortable and it can be clunky and it can be unpopular and it can be socially awkward. Let's call a spade here, right? But the truth of the matter is that is you beginning to feel for the first time what it's like to be an authentic human being. Because I had my first drink when I was a late starter for an Irish person. I was 18, lads.
Right.
I had a stag and ice and a Malibu and pineapple, and I didn't know my own name because that's how the journey starts out. Innocent. Nobody wants to set out on this journey where you and I found ourselves. But then the great irony is we're so grateful that we did find our way to where we found ourselves to. But the truth of the matter is that if I had known that I would become addicted to an addictive substance, that in fact alcohol is toxic, poison, addictive, all the things that you and I and everybody, I hope, in this room understands. You're not weak, you're not flawed. Listen, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not one chromosome short of being a full adult. There is nothing wrong in your DNA, environmentally, genetically, any other way. There is no addiction genetic gene. They can't find it. Gabor Mate is really, really strong on that point. So we became addicted to something. We used something as society told us we could use it, as our family and friends and everybody else did. And we just got into a pattern and a habit. And the joy is when the veil is lifted and you understand that, and you accept that and you do something about that, not only does your world begin to open up into this magnificent and amazing space to be, because you begin to know yourself and find your self-respect, you actually end up doing things on this journey that you never imagined.
Makes you brave. Makes you brave. I love that. And thank you for sharing that, Susan. It's something that I talk about a lot, but it's worth saying it again, that it's not your fault.
No,
it's not your fault. And a couple of people here have said, shame, guilt when drinking. I absolutely had all that going on. Huge amount of shame when I stopped, to the extent that I didn't even tell anyone. I'm grateful now that I had to go through experience because it's made me a better coach. But I now realize, I now know that, as you say, society wants you to drink. It's the dumb thing. It's what everybody does, but that doesn't make it right. And it's not your fault. However, it's your responsibility now to live your best life. And that's a positive thing. That's super positive. If you've been able to open your eyes and recognize this, now you take on that responsibility, but that's not your fault. And letting go of that guilt and shame is just massive. Let me ask you a question, just coming back to the ritual piece, if you like, just for a moment. For somebody who, it perhaps is early days, or even if it's just someone who's got tricky things going on in their life, and they have anxiety, they feel fearful, because life's life sometimes, right? As you say, it gets lifey. What would be your tip for something that we can do that just grounds us, a sort of grounding ritual, if you like, just to bring us back to who we are?
So at the end of the day, there is also a myth out there that you need to drink moon water, chant, and do hula hula at 6 a.m. Ladies, you do not.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one.
Here's the good news. You don't. Now, for me, I have pared down my morning ritual. Let me just say that for at the top. Because when I came into sobriety, it was the first time in my life I actually ever played by the rules. It was the first time in my life that I ever was disciplined. It was the first time in my life that I ever committed 150% to something.
Yeah, because we're flaky, aren't we, when we're drinking? We're flaky.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Flaky as Nora. Listen,
Yeah.
I was the mother of good intention, but
Yeah.
I never got to the end of the sentence. So in sobriety, I realized I had to, I had to do it differently. And I did. And I committed to it. And I went through a candle ritual, as you know. But now I've pared it all back. And I've actually sort of, if you like, made it so much easier for myself. And really, what I do is, obviously I wake up, lads. That's always a help. And then I take 3 deep breaths. I literally do that. This is my morning routine now. So I wake up, and when I wake up, I take 3 deep breaths. And then I make my sentence of intention, which is not today, lady, not today, which could be not today, sir, not today. So I wake up, I take 3 deep breaths, I make my sentence of intention. I drink some water and I light 1 candle.
Mm-hmm.
I light 1 candle to put light into the world and to put light into my life. It's both a visual for me personally, and it's also a physical act. And I sit and I watch the flame, and I watch the flame for a few moments. And there's no glitter, no sparkle, no nothing. It's very, very simple. And in doing so, I'm actually showing up for myself, if you like. It reminds me, that I'm showing up for myself. It also reminds me the beauty of sobriety is it doesn't have to be ornate to be perfect.
No, I love that. Another very simple morning ritual could just be opening a notebook and journaling.
Absolutely.
No editing, no going back over it. Literally just, well, there's that lovely expression Louise Hay used to say, you can't clean the house till you can see the dirt. So literally let it all out onto paper without pausing, without going back, just let it all out. You might find yourself writing, I must send a birthday card, or even I don't know what to write. And that's okay. But it is magical how something often does pop up that then later you realize that if you had, what can pop up in journaling, it's quite interesting, is sometimes what pops into your mind is a thought that you don't want to write down. So there's a part of you that doesn't want to think that thought, but because you've committed, you write it down anyway. And there's a magic in that. There's a magic in just allowing it all out there, right?
100%. And I think that what everybody needs to remember about a ritual in the early morning and early sobriety is this isn't for Instagram, people. This is
exactly
a random Tuesday, right? The most important part of a ritual is consistency. It's actually not how many parts there are to it. It's the actual repetition of the same act. So for me, 3 deep breaths, a sip of water, not today, lady, not today, light a candle. There's no fuss, there's no drama, right? And normally what I do say in closing is I say to the flame as it's sort of gathering energy, and so we begin again. And, and so we begin again can apply to anybody. It doesn't have to be the sober journey, but it is, and so we begin again. And I say it to the flame because to me, the flame in my life, and people may want to tap into this, the flame in my life is my ancestors. And so my grandmother used to take us to the novena at 5 o'clock every Saturday in the Redemptress. She'd light candles for the parish, for the world. Everybody had a candle for Mary, who had a pain in her leg, and Johnny, who was dying, and the whole lot. And I grew up with this. And obviously, as a small child, I didn't understand the reverence or the importance or the light into the dark. I didn't understand any of that. But I understood the power of her ritual. And she used to light a little night light on her kitchen table when she'd take out her prayer book. And I was almost like, if you like, baptized in this whole thing about the candle and light into the dark. And it has stood me in great stead in my sober journey, because although I used to do 3, it was like the Pro Cathedral here, lads. Canterbury wouldn't have had as many candles as I had. So we're down to 1. So I have 1 candle. And that 1 candle is, and so we begin again. And so we begin again. And for me, Janie, and to everybody in the room, I want you to think about that. You see, that is the gift of being alcohol free. And so we begin again. We get a new day. I'm not waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning like we've all done. Like, let's be honest here. forensically examining what I said last night or what I did last night or who did I text or did I go on
Or
Facebook?
3 a.m. with the room spinning.
Yes, or 3 a.m.
Thank
and
God.
wanting to go to sleep and not wake up, right? There's a multitude that goes through our heads when we're drinking every day. And I think that, and so let's begin again is like, and it is like a gift to me every morning because I've got a clear day ahead. I've got a clear night of the night before. I'm not going into the breakfast room getting glared at. I'm not having a husband go out the hall door with his car keys silent and me inside going, what did I do? Did I? Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't say anything. Did I say anything? And I'm like absolutely peppering, right? And so we begin again is the simplest freaking sentence I've ever written, but I have found it to be so powerful. And as I say, it's not for Instagram, but it's consistent. And I do it every day. And coming up to my 7th-year anniversary, I'm still lighting candles every morning. Every morning. And because it's not this song and dance routine, it actually happens every day.
Yeah, it's that word consistency. Somebody said that earlier. It's the consistency and the fact that when you've quit alcohol, you can start to trust yourself.
Yes.
I was saying that I never had trust in myself before, but I didn't realize that. I love that. It's a really powerful, very, as you say, very simple ritual. And I love it.
And can I say one thing before we close? If anybody is out there and they're feeling, anxious or they feel some sort of a panic attack coming on because alcohol is being talked about or they have to go to a bar or whatever, the most important thing to do in that moment is to remember that when we were drinking, we were like the drama llama, right? It was just one drama after the other, and they are just stories and it will pass. And we just need to ground ourselves, Janie. We need to take a deep breath. We need to, look around us, think of 5 things, see 5 things, and we need to do the next right thing. And that's it. So if you find yourself in a situation whereby you're feeling panicked or anxious, take breath. See 5 things, touch 5 things if you need to, right? Just do the next right thing. And if the next right thing is picking up a glass of water, the next right thing is picking up a glass of water. Bring your horizon in. Always bring your horizon in. We have a tendency to look out into the world, project, my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan, my feck, all of it. Bring your horizon in to the next hour.
Yeah.
And that's how I live my life.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I think it to add to what you said there, it's actually coming back to your body in the present moment. We spend so much of our time, particularly when people have those awful panicky feelings, they're stuck in either something that's happened in the past or something that might happen in the future, but it hasn't happened yet. We've actually only got this moment now in the present. And when you can actually come back to your body and feel it in your body and steady your head, it makes so much difference. So I appreciate you sharing that.
I just wanted to just say that to the room because sometimes people in early sobriety or in any point in the sober journey feel anxious and really it's drama llama. Just remember that, lads, it's drama llama. It's only stories. Ground yourself and truly do the next right thing. And the sentence I used to say to myself in the early days was, right here, right now, I am safe.
Yeah.
Right here, right now,
I've got a similar one. Yeah. In this moment, I am safe. I use
exactly.
I love it. Susan, thank you so much. It's been an absolute joy. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
For listening into the Morning Call Lounge, you'll find it on Spotify. Always love everything that Susan gets involved in. I'll bring her back on the podcast again as a fantastic guest, chatting about general stuff at some point in the future. So just a reminder then, our webinar for Sober Coach Training is Wednesday, 21st of January at 7:30. If you look at the show notes, you can register there, or you can go to thesoberclub.com/events and you'll find it there. Also in events, you'll see that well, I'm going to be in Florida next week. Hope to see some of you there. That would be amazing. At the Amplify Life, at the Sober Life Rocks Amplify Voices Conference. Going to be chatting about sharing your story, getting your message out to a wider audience. Really looking forward to that. And then into February, 22nd of Feb, I'm going to be doing another ultimate self-care retreat at Homefield Grange Spa. Now, this is luxury. It is, it's an investment for sure. But, you heard us talking earlier about rituals. And sometimes you do just have to step up and just invest in yourself. And if you're ready to invest in yourself, come and do this retreat, because Homefield Grange Spa is just the absolute best place. It's perfect. It really is. So I'm doing the weekend there for them. You'll get everything you need in that weekend to go away chock full of inspiration and all of the tools you need to start putting that self-love in place. So again, if you go to thesoberclub.com/events, you'll find all the information there. Hope to see some of you in Florida. That will be amazing. Let me know if you're going to be there. If you are just starting out, just doing dry January, keep going. Do check out the Sober Club. It's very low cost. The price is rising second week of January, or third week actually. So get in now before the price rises, because the price stays the same for existing members. So once you're in, you're in. It would be great to have you as part of it. I know I bang on about how great the Sober Club is, but it kind of is. There's just everything in there. We've got a huge member portal of exclusive content. It's not stuff you find anywhere else. We've got amazing free gifts when you join us, all kinds of amazing stuff. Hypnotherapy audios from leading hypnotherapists. There's meditations within there. There's mindset stuff. There's loads of nutrition stuff. There's a shaman doing movement medicine. There's Pilates. I mean, honestly, everything. Plus a private group where we cheerlead each other. It's pretty small and supportive. I am in there practically 24/7. So there's a lot of support for a very, very low cost, and it would be great to have you involved. thesoberclub.com. Obviously, I offer one-to-one coaching as well. I think I've got 2 spots available at the moment. If that's something you're interested in, we can do coaching packages from 4 weeks to a 3-month period. And yeah, find out more about that if you're interested. Whatever you do, don't hole up and do this on your own. Tell someone you're doing it. If you haven't already and you're doing dry January, join us in the Sober Club, or just pop me a message. You can absolutely do that. I will answer you. I will reply if I get your message. I promise you. At Janie Lee Grace across all the various social media platforms. Just follow me, drop me a message, and I will reply if I get your message. Tell me you're doing this. I'll hold the vision for you. It will make a difference for you just by telling me. It really will. You'll find yourself kind of having those thoughts when the wine witch calls and says, who cares? Just sod it. You may as well drink. There'll be a little bit of you go, oh, I just messaged Janie yesterday. And like, ooh. And there might be a bit of you that goes, I'll hang on for another day. And as Susan would say, that's all that matters, right? Not today, lady, not today. And gents. So keep going. Let somebody know you're doing this. Please join us in the Sober Club if you'd like to. Register for the online webinar if you want to think about your purpose for the future, and just pat yourself on the back if you're doing this. It's the best thing you will ever do. See you next week. Thank you for listening to the Alcohol Free Life podcast, brought to you by the Sober Club. Please rate and review. And if you want support, accountability and inspiration, and you want to live your best life without the booze, check out thesoberclub.com.